So, when is it okay to yell at somebody? We're going to figure that out because maybe it's okay under certain circumstances, or is it not? Is it okay if we give CPTSD and BPD permission to yell at people because we understand? Should we give them permission under certain circumstances for which we will accept them yelling at people? And by the way, there are people who do not have either of these who yell at people all the time. So, do we put them in a special category and give them special permission? Or are we going to create rules that fit everyone, no matter whether you have CPTSD, BPD, or not? When is it okay to yell at somebody? I really want to know this. Is it okay to yell at children if they've done something wrong? Like you told them not to run in the house and they break something very special of yours. Is it okay to yell at them then?
Okay, honey, that you broke Grandma's favorite $1,000 vase. Sweetie, you are still wonderful.
Is it okay to yell at your brother and sister because you guys just are comfortable with each other and you say what's on your mind and you speak your mind? And if you feel irritated with each other, then you have an understanding that you can yell at each other. How about adult mothers and daughters or adult fathers and sons? Is it okay to yell at those people? How about a neighbor? What if you are a boss? Who is it okay to yell at? When is it okay? And are there particular people where it is acceptable? Oh, what about your best friends or your spouse? A lot of husbands and wives yell at each other and they're not borderline and they're not CPTSD. I'm trying to establish a norm. Is there a percentage of time when it's okay to yell at somebody? When is it okay? How about road rage? There have been people who have been really hurt because they get upset, they can't control their temper on the road, and somebody goes crazy on them. I've worked with plenty of children who feel very upset about their parents having arguments. And my question to them is, do you argue with your brothers and sisters? Yes, they usually say, okay, well, when people are living together and they're trying to get along and they think differently about different things, sometimes they may have an argument. So I give them some advice. Go to your room, go to a quiet place, go read a book, put on some music, try to stay out of it. I think under certain circumstances, yes, people do argue, people do yell, but what is the context? I think what happens with CPTSD and people who have borderline personality disorder, and we all need to be held accountable, by the way. So, not just them, but because we're focusing on them, I kind of want to get to the punch on this. The reasons why they are yelling at someone may not make any sense to anyone. They may feel like they are being unfairly screamed at or attacked, and it doesn't make any sense. Whereas if you're in a store and somebody skips you, then you might get mad and say, why did you skip me? I saw that happen the other day. So there's a rationale for it. But sometimes when BPD or CPTSD gets really angry, they may yell at you and you don't understand why. So I want to explore this a little bit. I'm going to give you a couple of reasons that you might think, what? That is kind of different. A different reason why they may yell at you. So one of those is sometimes they don't know that they're yelling at you. CPTSD may have a better handle on it than BPD, but sometimes they do not know. And there are people who will argue with me and say that is not true. They do know, but they have difficulty with understanding all of their emotions. What does anger feel like? Sadness, happiness. Who are you? They have difficulty with the self. So sometimes when they're yelling at you, they don't even really have a full grasp that they're yelling. I mean, you can point it out to them and help them understand that you're yelling, and they may give you an answer like, oh, well, the TV is really loud, and that's why I'm talking so loud, but I'm not yelling. So they don't always have a good handle on what's yelling, what's anger, what's frustration. I think that's why we have to teach kids at a very young age their emotions so that they understand them better. Because if you don't grasp that at a young age, it can be hard to teach someone what that feels like and connect it with the word. So sometimes they're oblivious that they're yelling. They don't mean anything. So you can kind of give them a little bit of a pass on that and just kind of allow them to have a little bit more aggressive talk without turning it into an argument, because in their mind, they're talking to you like this. Here's another reason that you might find strange, but I think it's worth sharing. I find that high functioning borderlines and people with C-PTSD that are really high functioning are really intelligent people. They're really smart. Think about it. They've had to overcome some great odds, and many of them have phenomenal jobs and they do very well at those. So, one of the reasons is because of their intelligence. Now, let me explain. You can see intelligence in handwriting, and the particular people that I'm talking about may even have needle points. There's like 3 different types of intelligences that I can see in handwriting, and they're all intelligent. The one that picks up things really rapidly, really quickly, you'll see like needle points in their M's and their N's. They learn, or they understand things very quickly. And even people without BPD or C-PTSD, if they have that needle point in their handwriting, they may become impatient with you because they learn quickly. And it may not be that way for everything, but some things they comprehend very fast. And if you're comprehending things at a slower rate, or they're having to repeat things, they're already having to work through a lot of anxiety. So to have to stop and pause and re-explain, they don't, it's too much. It's too many layers already happening. And so I don't want to have to re-explain to you something that I've already explained, because I got it and you should get it too. So some of it is an impatience because they are highly, or they can be highly intelligent. What is unacceptable is calling someone out of their name, hanging up in somebody's space, walking off like in a very rude, aggressive manner, telling somebody that you're such an idiot. You are so dumb. Like, why don't you? That is unacceptable. And if you want a marriage to not work, call somebody out of their name. You can't insult people in that way. It's back to that thing that I've told children. Not that a BPD is a child, but I would say this to an adult or a child, that you have to figure out some strategies to handle your anger before it arises, so that you already have these things in your backpack ready to go. Because once you're angry, it's too late. So that is your homework. You got to figure out some things that you can do. How can you politely walk away? If you're on the phone with somebody, you could say, could you hold on just one moment? And you can press the mute button and go scream for 5 minutes, and then come back and say, all right, now back to what I was explaining to you. Because it's not okay to disrespect people because you're frustrated because they're not catching on quickly, or whatever the reason is that you're irritated with them. It's not acceptable in our society to do that under any circumstances. You have to be respectful. And I'm not talking about the occasional husband and wife argument, sister brother argument. I'm talking about when this is happening on a very frequent basis. If someone has told you, you're always yelling at me, or wow, you're mean to me, listen to them, because you do not want to destroy a relationship because you haven't controlled your temper. You have to work at it, you have to practice it. You do not have permission to scream and yell and call somebody out of their name because you are angry. You do not have permission to do that. Now, here's another thing that people might get a little bit offended over, but there is such a thing as arrested development. So even though you have a borderline who is great at some things, like they may be great at helping people with their problems or having compassion and deep understanding. They may be great at getting some things done. They may be good speakers. There are things that they are very adult about, but the arrested development part can be very immature. So, in some circumstances, they are still 2 year olds. And I'm not trying to say that in an offensive way. I just, what is the best way to say that? I'm not meaning it in an insulting way. It's just when you have 2 year olds and 3 year olds, they are having tantrums about a lot of things because, but I want it, but I want that. Okay, well, you have to wait until after dinner, but I still want it. It's pre-operational thinking where it doesn't matter that you're telling me, I'm not rationalizing. I just know that I want it. So give it to me now. Do it now. I don't want to wait. There's a piece of them that was never stretched. You have the tantrum, and what do? We give the 2 year old their popsicle because I can't take it today. Here you go. You want your ice cream now? Go ahead and eat it because I can't. And a lot of times people do that with people with BPD or even C-PTSD. Here you go. Just take what you want. I can't take the yelling. So they never learn to stretch. They never learn to stretch because they also are not looking outside of themselves to see what that looks like. They almost need to be taped, and they would still probably go in denial. I know at least borderlines would. Probably, maybe some CPTSDs, they need a tape recorder so that they can hear how they sound. And if you do that, they're probably going to have a cow. So it's kind of hard. You might have to ask permission ahead of time. The next time you start yelling and ranting and raging, can I tape you so that I can work through this with you? Because they don't understand how they're coming across, and they think they are valid in their reasoning. And you might say, I've worked with kids before who were borderlines, who were doing things to people, but they swear up and down that they weren't because number one, they may dissociate. Number two, they don't want you to abandon them. So if they admit fault, that could mean that you might leave them, you might disown them, you might stop talking to them, and they just cannot handle that risk. So it's hard to get to the core of you are yelling at people for no reason, or it feels like it's for no reason. So you have to practice stretching your patience because we all have to do that. And the thing about borderlines is they may be patient with certain people, and with other people, they make an exception to the rule. And it's usually somebody that they feel very close to where they're not tolerating anything, they're disrespectful, they're yelling, and it's not okay. You do not have permission to do that. That is the reason why people think that you're manipulating or you're testing people to see, are they going to leave you? What do you think? if you're yelling at people and being disrespectful, then yes, you're setting, and that's scary for them to hear, but you need to stretch yourself. It's just like with boredom. You need to sit with that boredom for 5 minutes. What happens is you're not following the same rule that you have in place for yourself. Because if somebody was calling you out of your name, telling you you're an idiot, yelling at you, starting an argument, then you would think they are the worst, meanest, most horrible person in the entire universe. You would not make any exceptions. But what people are trying to tell you is that you yell at people and can be very disrespectful to people in a way that you would find absolutely unacceptable. And there are people in your life who may be yelling at you and being very disrespectful to you, and that's not okay. But you do the same thing to other people. One of the things you can do is kind of set a light boundary. You can try some small little things like in a quiet voice. Let's say you're talking to your mom and she's starting to yell at you. You could say very quietly, "Are you yelling at me? Is she yelling at me? It feels like she's yelling at me." Instead of, "I didn't put it there. I didn't move your shoes." Call them on it. "Is she yelling at me? I feel like she's yelling at me." And just say it really quietly and see if they can self correct. "Did you just call me an idiot? Wow, that wasn't nice. That didn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be called an idiot." Instead of, "You're the idiot, not me. You don't call me an idiot." So you want to try to gently call them on it. Here's the thing. Everyone is going to defend themselves, whether they're right or wrong, borderline C-PTSD or not. If you tell me you ate the two biggest cookies, I'm going to tell you, "No, ma'am, I ate the smallest cookie." It's human nature. But at the same time, you still have to be held accountable, because the goal is you want healthy, happy relationships that are thriving and enjoyable. You don't want to be in a yelling at people state all the time. And if you're finding that to be the case, you may want to consider getting some type of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication to bring that down a notch. And it's worth it because it can help you. I know some people don't believe in that. I believe in it, okay? I believe in it because you don't want to destroy relationships. You want to be calmed down enough to think through things rationally. You don't feel good when you're yelling and screaming at someone, and it's okay to get help, get medication if you need it. I've seen that work wonders, and then you can work on some things. It can help you to feel calmer, and you don't have to fight so hard to gain control of your emotions. So practice, take baby steps this week. Really work on calming down and not yelling at people. I don't care if it's mother, daughter, son, father, husband, wife, no exceptions. We got to work on it. Take baby steps, and the more you practice, the better you will get at it and the easier it will become. So if you need to hold on to a squishy toy, play with some rubber bands, do some things to help you to remember that you're not yelling at anyone this week. Have you had CPTSD or BPD to yell at you and you felt like it was unfair? How did you handle it? How did you convey to the person that you didn't like it? Did that work? Did it not work? And if you have BPD or CPTSD, what strategies do you use to help you to calm down? Let us know in the comments. So, hey, beautiful people. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and what topics you want me to explore next. Your feedback means so much to me. Let's keep this adventure going. Don't break up with me. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. Check out my books on Amazon for insights on enhancing your love life, navigating narcissistic personalities, and exploring the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Links are in the description. You're amazing, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.